Well, I'm going to tell you something about this little train. Okay, my sister, she's an artist retraining as a nurse. What she did is she turned it upside down, like that. What does that mean about nursing? She says, well, actually, sometimes there's terrible accidents and a lot of the people will end up in A&E, in casualty. So when there's a train and there's an accident, I'm going to be looking after those people. So she said something about herself by turning this upside down. Now, I'm going to hand out an object, and I'd like you to think about something about you. By giving them an everyday object, an object that they haven't brought in themselves, they're having to think creatively, to actually take a bit of a risk in how they reassign the meaning to this object.
In the future, I want to be something to do with fashion, and fashion involves colour, and this is kind of like a big block of colour, so I thought it like represents what I want to do in my future.
I was thinking about doing something about ideas and lights and like imagination.
Mm-hmm. Well, I was quite pleased that I got the glasses because I'm quite a curious person, so I was thinking sort of like moving them around sort of thing, turning it like upside down as well because I like looking at things in a different way.
Mr. Lawrence Arena, that's for your group. The group will look at a range of artists, artists that use ready-mades or artists that use language in their work. Look at what it is you're trying to research and find the web. With the new curriculum, there's an increased emphasis on collaboration, teamwork, analysing the work of others and applying that to your own. The Art Detectives activity is trying to foster those skills.
Yeah, try and concentrate on these questions that really, getting to the crux of it. So.
We're also working with our technician, Jake, who's actually a contemporary artist. So we'll be drawing upon his experiences and they'll be understanding what it's like to be a real artist working locally. And again, the new curriculum really supports using outside professionals and ensure that students know what it's like to be an artist and know how to be an artist. Jake's a role model for many of our students.
They say most of her images are based on 1940s and 1950s and photo albums.
In the 60s and to like 70s, she began to take a deeper interest in social and political movements of the time. So I think that had an effect on her artwork.
The first question that we got was, why did Duchamp use the found objects? I think he just tried to revolutionise the art industry and not try and just use paintbrushes and clay, but use other things they can just find around the house.
Excellent, well done.
We did ours on an artist called Lawrence Weiner, and he used language and words for his sculptures, and he put them in loads of different places so that like everyone could see them.
Thank you very, very much for all that research. Now we're going to move into the next part of the lesson, which is your active part. We've got a guitar. If I put it up like this, okay, if I have it upright like this, it takes on a different shape. What could it look like? Any ideas?
It looks kind of like a chocolate lollipop.
Absolutely. Brilliant. Okay.
The body of the guitar kind of looks like the torso of a body.
Absolutely.
Like
Brilliant
the main part
answer.
of them.
Yeah.
I think it looks like a head with a neck.
Head with a neck. Well, that's brilliant because every single one of you has come up with a completely different answer. If you have a look on my computer screen here, we've got 3 guitars in a row. They just reminded me of flowers. They sort of look like things growing. I've written seeds that grow, okay? And it reminds me of my job, actually, because I often sort of think teaching is about like watching people sort of emerge and flower and blossom into the world. So that's me thinking of our local community, something about you guys. The new curriculum emphasises locality. It's about local ideas as well as national ideas, but the students are bringing in their worlds into the classroom. Some of you have brought in some objects, okay, and I want you to decide whether you want to use those, or you can, in your teams, send somebody over to the back of the classroom where there's quite a selection of unusual objects. They'll be working creatively. It's a problem-solving activity. How do you bring all these objects together? to create one single sculpture that can be read by others. I want you to think about what those objects could mean other than their actual function. We're thinking about our local area, we're thinking about our community beyond our local area, we're thinking about you as a class, you as individuals. What is it you want to say? Creativity is a really important part of the new curriculum. Learning to take risks, trying out ideas, experimenting, working with others and making choices with objects or materials or methods that they haven't used before, but taking risks and using those risks effectively to come out with something surprising or meaningful at the same time. You've done incredibly well. What I want you to do now, though, is to tell each other what your work stands for, what it represents, what it symbolises.
It's all the stuff which we like, so we got sort of food and drink here, and music and fashion and clothes and all that sort of stuff.
Oh, well, we got the mattress on the map because we're trying to say there's poverty all over the world, and there's the hat representing that he's trying to get money, the mattress representing it's not in a home or it's on the street, and the world, and the map saying it's all over the world, it's not just in one place.
It represents how like people move about, and so underneath, so this is like the suitcase which they take with them. So it's like got all their personal possessions, and then buried underneath they've got their big heart which they take with them wherever they go.
Evaluation has been really emphasised. Peer evaluation, ongoing evaluation and peer reflection. So lots of opportunity here to work collaboratively, listening to each other's views and ensuring everybody's input is valued.
It's all about like mending stuff, and we mended a string on the guitar, and like it's all battered and bruised, and
It was like safety. This is the police trying to stop all these bad people getting out into the streets.
That's very interesting for me because I saw you as looking after the guitar.
When you have to think about what it means to you. It's not just like one thing. It can be many things that mean to different people.
And in this piece really says a lot. Are you safe on the outside? Are you safe in the inside? It depends how you view this piece of art. I want to do this exercise before. The next part of the lesson had the support of the English department. We went through how can we actually look at words and how can words be best used. They're ready-made, symbolise something. The language they're going to use also symbolises something. Think of some descriptive words or a phrase which describes your ready-made or what it symbolises.
Ours is life is a jigsaw. And we're using that because we've got like lots of different pieces to our sculpture which fit together as a sculpture and also like represent like fitting together as a community as well.
So we came up with don't stay with your heart, it will stay with you, and this represents, because in our project it was the heart that was always with you at all times, even if you're moving or you're going on holiday.
Poverty is another word for butter. Because poverty sort of spreads around the world, as in butter spreading on a piece of toast.
well, our phrase is security is meant to be opposed.
So tell me a little bit more about that, because that's a very interesting title.
Why you make your place safe is because you know it's going to be opposed. Your
Yes.
safety is going to be opposed, so you make it safe.
Also, the word opposed means two opposing things, doesn't it? And your idea was very much like that. You were saying about it looking from both sides. So the words are really, reflective of what of your sculpture.
You're going to create an animation of the words that you have selected as a team. Each group has opportunity to show how the language that they've selected can be projected onto their ready-made. You select the correct typeface for your ready-made. Try and choose one that suits your target audience, suits what you're trying to speak about. Use colours that have symbolic meaning as well. Try and think, if you're going to use red, it means something very different from light blue. Decide on the direction your text is going to go. It doesn't have to just go along. It could come up, like Jenny Holz's work just flies up from the ground.
But we can start it small so that it gets bigger.
Yeah, and then on the next slide, I think it should get bigger, like quite a lot bigger than that.
Yeah.
There's a greater emphasis now on experimentation, experimenting with ideas and experimenting with different materials and methods and processes, experimenting and using ICT and actually new technologies which will enable them to learn the skills that they'll need later in life. I like the fact you've chosen capitals for that. Why did you choose capitals?
It's like meant to be opposed.
Yes. So it gives it more force, it gives it more expression. These are students who are thinking ahead, taking a few risks. And I think that's not really been encouraged before now. It's been much more prescribed content. So there's a little bit more flexibility, and I think that's going to really make it a much more creative curriculum.
It was really cool. It's like you don't usually get to do this like too often, and like you don't really put like tape and like wire fix a guitar really. It's really cool.
Also, you're kind of free to do kind of what you want, and you can like use your imagination to create a sculpture. Like so many people find just like doing little sketches really boring, but when you get to just get lots of weird objects or normal objects and you're just able to do it, yeah, you have a lot of freedom.
What about the colours?
The colours, it like mixes all together with like the life, so the mix of colours that we all like in our group.
The piece is very much about each person having a character, bring their hobbies, bring their interests, bring their personalities symbolically into the piece. So something really unexpected happened with security is meant to be proposed. It came to life with light, and the shadows cast onto the whiteboard look fantastic. Stop. Oh, very, very good. One group used the phrase, poverty is like butter. You see poverty everywhere. They felt it spread throughout the world. So it's a really lovely way of saying something quite distressing. That is excellent. So you've actually changed the meaning of your "Don't stay with your heart," and then just at the end, putting up this huge caption to really add to the impact. The heart opening up really slowly, just like a heartbeat. It was sort of like pulsing as it got bigger. So the group who used the suitcase and the heart, an excellent expression of travelling, working in one country, moving to another, needing to take your heart with you, remembering the family you've left behind. It said a lot. If you as a teacher aren't prepared to take the odd risk or to be imaginative and to experiment, how are you going to get your pupils to be? And this has really reinvigorated me, and hopefully that's going to come across to the pupils.